Welcome to the original Next Level Gaming.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is Tuesday night.
What I see.
That's right. And it is another NLG show. It's going to be kind of a laid back, easy going, I have no idea what the hell we're going to talk about tonight kind of show, but we've got the right man for the job. It is coming. He is coming back after we have not been. It has been a year-ish since we have seen you, Brother Lagnese. The great man himself from Fextra Life, formerly from Warhorse Studios, and how we met him, and a great friend of ours, has gamed with us, and just an all-around awesome guy. Rick Lagnese, what's up, Brother Rick? How you doing, man?
Good. Much love to you guys. It's good to be back and chilling, so let's go. Ready to rock and talk about whatever you want.
Yeah, we're just gonna get it whatever we want to do tonight. So for full disclosure, and you knew this, Rick, we were supposed to have Scott Miller from Apogee on. We were gonna talk to him. We were gonna get the Apogee scoop.
He canceled himself.
Yeah, I tried getting a hold of him all weekend and yesterday, and he wouldn't respond to a single message. So I guess we've been ghosted. So you know what? We've got you, and that's all we need, Brother Rick. So, Peter, how are you? I saw it. We got
one of those.
Be careful what you do with those hands, Rick.
Yeah, I better be careful, man. Just take a snapshot, post it on Twitter, and do your thing, boys.
That's right.
Girls.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Peter, what's going on, man?
Oh man, I had to turn the AC on today.
I
Kinda
know.
got hot.
It's 70
It's gonna
degrees
be hot
outside.
for the next 3 days.
I'm good with that. Gonna be a nice warm Passover.
Yes.
So,
Easter for us, Passover for you.
that's true. Yes, and you know how I know that both of these holidays are coming around the same time, because Sunday night the 10 Commandments with Charlton Heston was on, and that's how I knew. I'm like, yep, that always happens before Good Friday, Sunday before Good Friday, and so.
When I think about Passover, I think about matzahs, and they're always like on sale. One box is, I don't know, $6.
Yeah.
A whole box of 5 is free. It's coupon.
Yes.
So a year ago, I bought a whole box of, I don't know, 5 with 5 little boxes in it, right? I think I finally finished one tiny box. So I still have 4. So
Don't worry.
Out of 4 years.
The shelf life on that stuff is forever. Don't listen to whatever the date is stamped on the box. The shelf life on matzah is forever. So, I will tell you a recipe that you want to try. Okay, and I swear this is really good. So it's called a matzah brie. And basically what it is, My grandmother used to make these, and then I learned how to make them. You take a matzah and you run it underwater for about a minute until it gets soft, and then you crumble. Then you
Doesn't it fall apart?
It's supposed to. So what you want to do is you want to get it to where it doesn't quite fall apart yet, but you can you shake the water off, and then you break it into pieces into a bowl. If you're using a whole matzah, take 2 eggs.
Okay.
Break the eggs into the matzah, mix it together. Take a pan, put some either oil or butter in the pan, whichever you like to do to lube the pan. Pour the mixture in. 2 minutes until it's like semi-firm. Flip it. It looks like the cross between a pancake and a hash brown.
Okay.
It gets nice and golden brown. You can put, like, sometimes in the mix, I'll put cinnamon. You could use syrup if you want on top of it. You could eat it like a pancake. You could do sour cream if you want to do it like a hash brown. But it is delicious, and I do it. I keep matzah all year round because I do that stuff too.
I'm gonna try it.
It's good.
I'm intrigued.
I want to know your thoughts on it when you taste it.
Yeah.
So, I would strongly suggest when you put it in, salt it. Put some salt on. That'll give it some flavor. So.
Party on.
Yeah. I'm gonna try it. I'll report back.
Okay. All right.
You don't see me. It was so bad I didn't survive.
Well, I'm gonna be making a few of them this week. Trust me.
I wonder if you can put it on the griddle.
Oh yes, you can.
Ooh.
Oh yes, you can. I'm the pit
Now
boss.
I want to see pictures.
You know what? I might do that this weekend. I could, because we're gonna do breakfast this weekend. Because instead of pancakes, I'll do that. But we're gonna do eggs and turkey sausage and turkey bacon and turkey kielbasa. So, Rick, nice. You haven't been on Twitter. You haven't seen me on Twitter. You didn't watch 2 weeks ago show. My wife bought me a beautiful Pit Boss Ultimate Griddle, and that's half of what we talked about.
Nice. Okay.
Made burgers on it tonight. So and Peter, you'll love this. Oh, and Sir X is in the chat. Next Level Chef. X was cracking up on this. So we're gonna make so tomorrow night's our first Passover Seder, and we're gonna have about 15 people. And my wife usually makes. We're gonna make a chicken, and she usually makes a brisket. She has a really nice Dutch oven. And so she'll do a Dutch oven brisket, which is out of this world. So she usually gets one that's about this big, and she's like, she said, usually I have to cut it up and brown it and then put it in. And she said, you know what I could do this year? And she looked out the back door, and I said, I have never been more in love with you than I am right now. She said, I can brown that thing on the griddle. Yes.
All right.
Yes. So, Chris, we're still waiting on Chris. He said, don't wait for him. They just got home and there's some stuff going on he needs to take care of. So he may or may not. He may get in late, and if he does, cool. If not, the three of us will soldier on. I think we can handle it.
We've got enough topics.
I think so. You're right. We do. Oh, so what is going on, chat?
Hey, with break, we're never run out of topics.
No.
No. Hey, let's go. What do we want to talk about?
Yeah, well, let me say hi to the chat real quick. Brother Nick's in the chat, Geekstorian. He said he didn't get a notification. I don't know why. Back from the Dead is here. Brother Back is here. Brother Salvatore is here. He says, good evening. Sir X-Man, Next Level Chef. So, X, how you feeling, man? How's the leg? How's everything good? Brother Bigblock says, finally giving up on topics, eh? What's up, Brother Bigblock? Brother John's in the house. And Cousin Born. Is this a precursor to Cousin Myke opening a Grilling with Myke channel? Well, maybe. Next level grilling. Next level griddles.
I like it.
Peter, when you come to visit, I told you, man, we're gonna do griddle and gaming.
Griddle and gaming.
Griddle and gaming. So, and one day,
G&G.
yes, and one day, Mr. Lagnese, we are gonna meet with you. One day, we are gonna break bread.
Yeah, breaking bread. Let's do that.
And so Myke gets a griddle on the road.
I can take that thing on the road. It comes off the stand. I can put it in the van. So, because you're on our coast.
East Coast, baby.
Yeah. So you're just a bit north of us. So we got to make that happen. We got to figure that out. All right.
Why not?
Okay. All right. Don't tempt me. So.
Hey, if events like E3 are gonna, go down the toilet, doesn't mean we have to. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So we'll get together. We'll find ways. Forget that.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? That's one of the things I kind of want to ask. We started to talk about this on Thursday when we were just kind of in chat. So I want to see if your perspective is still the same after taking the weekend to digest the news. And Sir X-Man, by the way, says he's good today. That is excellent. Hopefully next week, brother, if you're still at home, we'll get you back on. Or if Chris doesn't show, we'll just slide you into Chris's spot. Brother Bryant says, "Don't griddle your game unless it's one you hate."
Yeah.
So that is. So we were talking
for the chat. Put your griddle games on there. Games that you don't care about, and let us see them go.
What game would you griddle? There's topic number 1.
Topic number 1.
Oh no.
What game would you griddle? Oh my God. So Rick, we were talking about E3, and we talked about it last week. Here on the show, talked about the news that it's, canceled. Actually had a chance to talk about it on Sunday night with Gaming Beyond the Box with Wilmy and Centurion and Bomber, and Peniac Giant, who else was on there? Scrub Nurse. And we had a lot of fun talking about it there. But I did notice that if you go to E3's website, I want to bring this up because this kind of goes towards what we're talking about. Let me So, here it is. Show organizer Reed Pop announces E3 2023 will not take place as scheduled this June, with both physical and digital events canceled. Alongside with the Entertainment Software Association, both parties will reevaluate the future of E3. I think that says all we needed to say, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's like an old dog, It's like can't get up anymore. What do? You keep him around or help him out. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, let me tell you, when the devs are hanging out, or when us who work in the industry are hanging out and we're just chilling, any honest person will tell you that nothing beats in-person events. Anybody's honest about it, unless obviously you have trouble with just being in front of people. But it doesn't take a lot. You don't have to go to college or take Psychology 101 even to understand that human contact is far more greater than any form of communication when it comes to emails or texts or even video calls. This is great, but come on, we were just talking about getting together.
Yep.
There's nothing like breaking bread together. That's supposed to be an intimate thing, is it not? So when we're all talking and stuff, there's that concern that the industry is getting too digital, and newsflash, digital is nothing new. When I was a teenager. I started, doing some work when I was, 11 or 12 years old, and I was doing landscaping at my grandfather's house, and I would sneak in the house to go on IGN to see what's going on with E3. That's digital, folks. That's nothing new. And I'm 40 now. So we're talking over 20 years. This is not groundbreaking to have a digital event. It's not. It's actually going backwards. We're literally going backwards by doing digital only. So, and here's another thing, and whether the fans want to hear this or not, I would say this to anybody. The fans are not the priority for E3. They never should be.
I've said that.
Let me be clear. In person. Like, I just mean to say, of course the fans are important. It's all about the fans with the gaming and showing things, and so you can still do the digital, but the in-person has way more weight, and the reason why it's better for the industry, which makes it better for the fans, is because there's a lot more relationships that are built, so they end up getting more coverage by talking to the people. Like I would have story upon story upon story upon story to tell you guys, just from me meeting people in person, sometimes even if I only could spare 5 minutes to talk with somebody. And it makes it better for the industry, because if we're going to cover more games because we're able to make these connections, and people could say, well, you could just do that over an email. Let me tell you something. When we're all getting hundreds of emails every day, you're not seeing everyone every day. You're not reading every single email. You're not. So you need the in-person, and it really mostly helps the business part. The fans will always get the digital, but the business needs the personal. I hope that clarifies that.
Well, it's not just that, but you talked about, see, you had all weekend, Rick, to practice and say you'd come running home to check NLG for your E3. You had all weekend to practice that. But, to your point, I wish, the one thing I wish, not all the, shout out to archive.org. I just need to very quickly just give a quick
hopefully
shout.
they don't shut that down now.
I know. This was the NLG website, right? And this was the last E3 we were at, that I was at, 06. And I mean, this is what we had to, this is how you got your news, right? If you wanted to know what was going on with Gears of War, let's see if it's there. Nice, it's there. I wrote this in 2006. You had to come home. You had to run home like Rick, and jump onto NLG and read what I was saying about the game. And unfortunately, it didn't save our pictures and stuff. But this is what we did, and this is what people needed. I mean, this was a damn nice write-up, by the way. I just can't tell you. But
that's actually not true, though, John. Any people in the industry, because I get on calls with the big companies every week, everybody misses an important email every now and then. Nobody's perfect, so I got to call that one out, because that happens, right? Who doesn't miss? I miss calls from my wife. So where are we going?
Yeah.
When you're in person, though, you can't miss that, because they're talking to you in front of your face. Digital is the future. Doesn't mean it's a good future.
Right.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And let's see if this is still here, because I got to talk to the guys that did Cloning Clyde, I believe. Yeah, we got to talk to a couple of the guys from Ninja Beat. I don't know if you guys remember Cloning Clyde. This was like one of the big first kind of indie games that you saw on the Xbox Live Arcade. This is what we were able to do and bring people. But now, and this is what I said last week. This is what I said on Gaming Beyond the Box. I think I said this to you guys. I think I actually didn't say this last week. I think I said this on my when we were, I was playing Wo Long and I was just like ranting. E3, the reason E3 worked was because it was an industry expo. It wasn't a fan show. It was a media show. And what happened was the media was no longer needed. You see, before you could stream all this stuff out, you needed us to show videos. You needed us and IGN and GameSpot and game trailers and G4. You needed that. It wasn't just the fans that needed it. The companies needed it. Right? But now the companies don't need media. It's why I haven't gotten back into this. Like people, people ask me sometimes, Myke, why don't you go back? You talk about how bad game journalism is all the time. Why don't you go back and kind of restart this up and bring back the old NLG? And I'm like, because there's nothing for me to do. There's no. They don't need me, because Microsoft, Sony. I think we just heard that Sony was going to put on a summer showcase. Microsoft's putting on a summer showcase and a Starfield showcase. We know Nintendo's going to have a Treehouse and a Direct. Devolver Digital might still do their own thing. Ubisoft said they're going to do their own event and they're going to stream it. They don't need the press. All they need is to give out the link to where you can watch their stuff on Twitch, YouTube, their website, yada yada.
But that's just a half of it, though, if I may, because I talk with influencers all the time, and especially because, obviously, as you know, I do PR for Factual Life, right? So Factual Life is a very big influencer. In fact, a couple years ago at Gamescom, we were actually, it was amazing. We were voted Streamer of the Year. And the reason why they still do need the influencer side is because everything comes through influence on social media, for better or for worse, whether we like it or not. And I was talking to an indie studio, and there was a guy that just put a video of their game. Something funny happened, put it on TikTok, and it blew up. And he said, this guy literally helped us sell over 100,000 copies from that video. So you could say, well, he did that without going in person, right? But the point is, it's the relationships. That's what I'm talking about, right? So it's not like what you're saying is wrong. It's just a part of it. So they still need that relationship building, because, there is millions of dollars spent, billions overall every year in gaming and marketing. And a lot of that actually goes towards the influencer side when it comes to paying for streams and this and that. And a lot of those relationships get enhanced by meeting in person, right? So the digital aspect is great for the fans, but the digital aspect doesn't help the business side. Like when it comes to the press, media, and influencers overall, because that can just be done anyway. So when you're taking something out like the personal side, that takes an aspect away that's near and dear to people who work in the industry, right? So I think, that's one of those things, like, you kind of gotta, once you're used to going and all of a sudden they take that away, then you'll see everyone posting, right? They miss when they were these moments they had. And I cannot tell you how much the sponsored content we've actually gotten just from meeting people in person. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So that wouldn't necessarily happen over an email or even a video call. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
It does. And maybe a video call, maybe more than an email. But you're right. And influencers, that is a good point. I think the way that I had said it at one time was the other piece of it was it goes along with what we put on our site. I walked around the floor with a camcorder, right? Handheld camcorder, because we weren't at that age yet where we were taking, our phones were still flip phones at that point in time. We didn't have smartphones and gigapixel cameras on our phones, where nobody actually owns a camera anymore, except for Nick. Nick, Geeks with Cash, owns many cameras and owns many excellent cameras. But nobody takes pictures with cameras anymore. Everything's on their phone. And the minute, any John Gamer could go up to a kiosk and just film the game he was looking at and put it out on his Twitter for all to see. Who needs Next Level Gaming to who needs to wait for Myke to go get all of his camcorder footage up when I've already seen what Jack put up.
Personality, different perspectives, right? Like that's why I just got back, as you guys know, I went to the Jedi Survivor event, right? They could have easily just sent, here's a demo, and just here's an embargo, right? And then just make the content. But the reason, again, why they do the in-person is because it builds those connections and the relationships. They could have done a video call with everybody, but instead it saves time. So you bring a whole bunch of influencers right to an event. People get to meet one another. Yeah. Well, no. I actually, they considered us, because we're, Effectual Life isn't just an influencer. We're more so press, if you think about it, right? Because we have more people that go to our website than people. We get like 50 to 80 million views a month. That's not all unique. But the point is, like, it was press, media and influencers that were there. So when you gather together in person, I don't think you can ever find a more powerful form of communication. And that helps in many levels. So the fans, that's not as much a concern. You're going to get the same kind of, you're still going to see what you're going to see online. But with the media, or especially the influencer side, you get the personality. But believe me, there's a lot of thought that goes into why they do invite you to go to these events. Why would they do that? Why would they spend all that money for people to fly and travel to go? Because it's all about the relationship building.
Yes.
And slightly different, but same thing. I mean, when we were still at Warhorse Studios, and we've seen footage of Kingdom Come Deliverance, but once we started talking to you, the enthusiasm about the game went way up, just because of personal relationships. You have more kind of gets more feelings behind the game, and I don't know, it's.
Yeah, I think we're just, Mike, talking about different perspectives. This isn't like a right or wrong answer, right? It's just like, me now, I'm going on over 7 years in the industry, and there's some really great people I met, even randomly at the events. One guy was from, he was with 505, then he went to Square Enix, and we literally followed him from company to company. He actually got us official wiki and all this and that and the other thing. And it was done by just randomly meeting him in person at E3. Same could be said for how I met now they're called Hoyoverse instead of MiHoYo, for Genshin Impact, right?
Mm-hmm.
I met the team at PAX, and it was incredible. We actually went out to eat at GDC. Those things still need to happen. And in a business sense, especially when you have like really serious meetings, people will fly just to meet for that, right? Because those are big deals. So on the business side, E3s, those things they will ultimately end up hurting more of that department. Maybe not so much the, how many views, because every year it increases, right? So that is true. The digital is the future in terms of that. But the other thing that holds it together is the people that actually work in the industry, right? And that's important. That's how I got a job at Warhorse Studios. Meet them in person.
Do you think that everybody's doing their own little digital events? It gets so splintered that you don't know what's on. You miss stuff because it's not like a continuous week of drinking news from a fire hose. Like it's all like and.
Yeah.
Do you think we're missing that too?
I think maybe a little bit. I think so. It's funny, when I worked with Warhorse, right? Toby and I would be at the booth in the concourse hall, and we would be presenting for 6 hours, 7 hours a day. And I'm telling you, between each presentation, we tried to drink a lot of water. We're talking a lot. We're losing our voice. run into the bathroom. Then we're trying to run and get back for the next group. And I'm like so excited to be there, but I'm missing everything else around me. Like everything else. I don't know even what's going on at E3 and I'm there, you know? So but the thing is that even the experience, and you know, Myke, you know this, right? You've been to E3. You've been there how many times?
10. A decade's worth.
Yeah, it's just a wonderful thing. What's this, Johnson? Physical
Actually,
games.
I'm sorry, 9. I keep forgetting I didn't go in 2002 because I got married then.
Yeah, John's got a good point. I mean, if we're talking just like that in general, John's right. Like, you know, I don't even like getting anything physical anymore, but that's totally different from meeting in person. But the digital aspect is only going to increase. But again, the point is, it's not that the digital thing is bad. It's that if you just take out the personal aspect of it, that's what's not good.
I agree. No, I do miss that, right? You and I are in lockstep on that. I miss seeing people that I met, you know, people that, you know, look, if I was still going, if I was still, you know, an industry person, you know, I would probably still be, you know, have much closer relationships with people that, you know, I've had for those years. You know, Peter Moore, John Lenaway, you know, Tim Willett, Todd Hollinshead, you know, guys that the experience, and this is what kind of upsets me about how E3 has pretty much broken apart and has pretty much died a you know, untimely death. I mean, I've had so many good memories of E3, whether it was, you know, meeting George Lowe, right? From Space Ghost Coast to Coast, the voice of Space Ghost, right? Meeting him. Going to see, you know, I'd always hang out with the Activision guys, right? So, I'm all, you know, they were one of my favorites to hang out with. So, you know, the first night of the show, is typically when a good movie was coming out. I remember going and seeing Star Wars Episode 1 with you know, with the Activision guys, and at that time, that's why I said Tim Willett, Todd Hollinshead, because id Software was there, was still part of them, and I had met those guys actually earlier because they, to your point about how they, you know, bring you out for things, id and Activision brought me out to a Doom 3 Xbox event, and you know, that's where I first got to meet those guys. You know, I think if I was still doing this, you know, I scant trade a message now and again with Pete Hines, but I'd known Pete Hines for the whole time I was going to E3. The man gave me, you know, a Dreamcast build of a game that they never released that I still have in my possession. It's one of the few. I mean, there are countless people being in the industry and going in and meeting people and having those relationships is how I became a relief pitcher in MLB 2K7. I mean, that is. Oh yeah, did I not tell you that?
No, look at you.
Holy shit! Hold on, I can't believe I never told you that.
They were going to scan my face and put me in Kingdom Come Deliverance, which would have been amazing.
That they should have. Why did that not happen?
Because when I was there, the tech wasn't set up, and it's a pain to set it up to scan the face. It takes a while, apparently, to get it all, and it just wasn't worth it for them, and I don't blame them because I wasn't, you know, we only had limited time.
No,
But
that's
cool.
hang on. I and this is not. It's funny because this is not a.
Let's see it.
All right, so we were, because I have a debug unit. We preview all of the games that and my 2K rep called me up one day. Excuse me. And said, Myke, I need to ask a favor of you. I just need you to say yes. I'm like, well, all right. What do you want? I can't tell you. I just need you to say yes. And I'm like, Anthony, what are you getting me into? He said, would you please just tell me yes? I'm like, fine, whatever. He goes, cool. So a couple months go down the line, and I get a disc, a build of MLB 2K7 with a note that says, go into the game, go to the codes where you put in whatever code you want to put in to unlock stuff. Put in the code Derek Jeter. Okay, and then call me. So I put in Derek Jeter, and I call, and I'm like, all right, Anthony, now what? He said, I want you to go, and I want you to find the, God, it's slipping my tongue. It's like the 1986 Brooklyn Dodgers. No, 1986, not Brooklyn Dodgers, LA Dodgers. Like, okay, cool. Pick that team, all right? What do you see? The Dodgers. He goes, great. Pick a pitcher. I'm like, son of a bitch. And there I am with a picture that looks somewhat like me.
Myke, you look young.
I was. Think about that. That was 2K7, so 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20, 16 years ago. So I'm like, this is cool. He's like, oh, but wait, there's more. So he's like, start the game. I'm like, all right. He said, put me on speaker. Okay. So it turns out that not only did he put me in the game, did they put me in the game as a middle reliever, but when I come to the mound or when I go to bat, not only does the stadium announcer say my name, John Miller says my name in this game.
That's
and what is
awesome, man.
And let me tell you what's so special about that for me. I'm a Baltimore Orioles fan. John Miller was the voice of the Baltimore Orioles for a long, long time. So to hear, before he went to ESPN and to do national. So to hear John Miller say, coming to the plate is Mike Mullis. This is his first up at bat, or Michael Mullis is his first up at bat, blah, blah, blah. And just to hear my name. And what's great is anybody who has a copy of MLB 2K2, or 2K7 rather, this is not like some roster update they did. Whether it's the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, or the GameCube version, you can go in, unlock all the teams, and find me in the game. So I say all that not to brag, but just to kind of reinforce your point that that doesn't happen without that contact, that relationship building that happens at these shows.
But you know what too? And if I may add another note, who do you think suffers the most from not having a big game show? It's the indie studios. Here's why. Now they have to fight for Summer Games Fest to get on there, to get on digitally, right? Do you think that all those indie studios, the devs that plan on going to E3, do you think they're all going to be able to get on the digital show? They're not. See, everyone has an opinion, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, there is no denying it. So if we don't consider who's actually being hurt because of it, because we as fans say, oh, we're going to see it anyway, we really miss out on who's being hurt. Because these guys, what happens when all these indie devs are there? Some of them, they don't get fully booked even. But the thing is that some do, some don't. And those that don't, for us, everybody eventually will try, like, who's there. A lot of people's schedules are booked out. But you're still going to be able to walk around and see these devs. Or, even if you have meetings booked, the point is that these indie devs are just not going to be in the limelight. You're never going to hear about these games. You may see them in an email that's in passing. But again, you're going to actually talk to them in person. So they're just not going to be able to get featured. Even when Xbox does theirs and they're talking about like 100 games and they're flashing through the game so fast. You can't see them all, right? Even when they show their Xbox, whatever they call their show, I know their showcase, right? Xbox showcase, whatever it's called. They can say they have 100 indie games that are going to come on Game Pass and all this, and they flash by all those indie games so fast. But when you actually you're able to go there and see them all in one shot, we don't all, as media, press, and influencer, have the time to have all these different appointments digitally. You have to then plan everything. It's just not the same thing as being able to go from one appointment to the other in one location. So they suffer. So we have to think on a bigger picture, because we can talk about all we want about digital is the future and, oh yeah, it's great to get digital this, digital that, but you don't understand we're going to end up hurting, not us, but the business gets hurt overall, and that does affect us because some indie studios will suffer because they can't get there.
But who are the indie studios? So taking E3, and this is a question that so you get to see this from both sides now. This is a unique perspective, right? You get to see this from Warhorse, who, as good a game as Kingdom Come was, they're still an indie studio, right? Self-published and all that. So,
well, no, they started off that way,
right? And then they went to remind me who published.
Yeah, so what happened is we were
Deep Silver.
Considered AA, not single, because we ended up getting to about 80 people, then 90. So Warhorse started first with a Kickstarter, and everybody turned down Warhorse. Not one person would and this is, mind you, traveling, going high and low, and everybody turned them down. And finally, after the Kickstarter took off, then Deep Silver stepped in and became the publisher. Now, one of the biggest reasons, and I'm telling you this now, one of the biggest reasons, if we had Toby on here, and he would know only because he's the guy, a lot of people saw me as one of the faces of Warhorse. Toby was the face. He traveled all over the world all the time to these events. He went to, Brazil, Europe, everywhere. That was the biggest reason, was because we were able to get out on these shows and people to come see us. You know what I mean? Like it was the most important thing for us. So I can actually say that working on that side, and by the way, I went to E3 as a fan too. So I've went as a fan, I've worked on the dev side, and then I've also now worked on the influencer / press side.
Right. So the question that I have for you is, who would the indie studio they lose out because they're not talking to who?
They would lose out because they can't be as effective reaching out to press through email as they can in, some of these, obviously, these bookings come over email, right?
Right.
And you can have video calls, excuse me, and they can show you a little bit digitally. But there is something really different when you meet in person. So, and again, part of my job is I have to say, hey, Factual Life, I think we should cover this game, right? I can be more convinced as to why when I can actually talk to the dev on the spot. And sometimes it's just harder to establish all these calls. Around E3, let me tell you something. When E3 went just digital, we had so much fewer calls with developers and publishers.
Oh, I bet. No,
So now imagine
I
on the
gotcha.
broader scale with the indie studios.
No, and so to that end, I agree with you. If you're, the fans are, again, they can always see it. They can always see the videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
But no, I got
mean
it.
more business, and if I may really quick, a news update about CNN. Why do I have the looks, Cerebral Paul? Do I have the...
Yes, he said you're about to. You look like you're about to give a news update on the top story.
Oh yeah, with the background too. Sorry,
yeah,
guys,
with the
but
background.
I got that background. I mean, I could show you. I got some cats around.
No. It's funny.
I'm just playing. But Boogeyman's got a great point. Boogeyman's got a great point because it's very, very expensive. So little by little, this is not because of COVID, people. COVID had nothing to do with the breakdown of E3. E3 was already crumbling. It was already crumbling before the COVID stuff. And it's a shame. And, that was more so, again, because of... Look, I'm not trying to say I have all the ins and outs and the answers. I'm not better than anybody. I'm just trying to say what I've seen and experienced, and he's got a good point. It's hard to dish out that much money.
Right.
All the time.
Do you think it's detrimental to mainstream people that are not like, let's say hardcore people that are up to, they know the companies, they follow the streams, etc. But now there's no E3. Like E3 is much more a broad thing that, everybody at the water cooler will talk about it. Because they've seen something, but now they don't. They might not hear anything about it because simply they have no idea where to look.
If I may be so bold to say, Effects for Life pretty much became more mainstream like just a couple years ago, right? Like sometimes we are prioritized at the very top, especially when it comes to RPG. And so, yeah, I can say that. And again, I'm saying it non-biasedly because I'm trying to say it from all different angles of where I've come from in the industry and what sides. But it hurts us too as a big influencer. We don't need E3 to survive. We've gone beyond that, but it hurts us because there are, how can I say this? There are some, unfortunately, no matter how much I do a video call with some publishers or developers, there are just a few that still have a really hard time understanding who we are as a business. And I hope I don't want to say too much here, but when you go in person, the walls come down. I am telling you, a video call does not suffice in on itself.
I don't
so it hurts us
disagree
because we don't have as many meetings and all that jazz.
No, I don't disagree with that, and that is one of the. So it's the reason that I find it sad that the show has gone the way it's gone. I have friends on social media who think that, and they're a little tongue in cheek, but they think I've been dancing on E3's grave like I'm Jeff Keighley or something. I'm not. I'm not.
You're the cause it's dying or it's dead. You know it.
John is so funny, man.
I can tell John doesn't work in the gaming industry, but God bless that guy. It's obvious,
John's good.
No, it's okay.
John's good people. John
helped me.
Sure John helped me through this.
I don't care if people say 3 sucks or Rick, you suck. Who cares? I'll still hang
No,
out.
John, no. I would bump anybody who said that.
No, that's why I know I'm just busting his chops.
No, John's a good guy. John's a motivator.
No, you got to have motivators. I used to be a coach. I love motivation.
In fact, I've got it figured out. Peter needs to stream the first boss of Wolong, and John needs to give him. John needs to give you the motivation.
I'll die before I beat that boss.
Many times.
Wolong, man, that's a great group of people, like the PR agency that handles it, One PR, and then, hey, dude. Wait, real quick, come here. This is totally random, but my son. We'll get a quick glimpse of my son.
Oh my goodness!
It's my son Benjamin.
It's the Junior Lagnese. What's going on, man? The last time I saw a picture of you and your siblings, you were much smaller.
much smaller.
Yes.
Get out of here. Get out. Get out.
Now get out of here, kid. You bother me. Oh, that's awesome, Rick.
Cool.
But
Hopefully
yeah,
you're
no.
training. Hopefully you're training him in the ways of gaming PR.
If he was relayed everything that I said to him, he probably would be like swinging at people. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm totally kidding. No, I'm totally kidding. So they think that sometimes I'm like the coolest dad on the earth, and then when I discipline them, I'm not so cool. But then I'm like, just remember,
Of course.
your pops works in the gaming industry.
That's right. Just remember, your dad's got a. You could be mad at me, but I still have a box quote up there. I'm taking
Also,
you to
produce some games. Yeah, John's right. Let's produce games, right? Like it's true. And with I was just saying, by going back to like Wolong, like Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja, like they're great folks, man. And
Yeah.
they invited me to go to their studio a couple times, and yeah, that's all really good stuff. And
One of my
that's what
favorite
helps us to do more coverage, because when they show, hey, look, we really care about you guys. Where you're not even just like an email away or whatever it may be. They want to see you, and that's awesome. But when Boogeyman, I'm going to tell you something. They did lower their prices this year immensely. So still didn't cut it, and there's a lot going on there. But you know what? At any rate, what's great, and we'll maybe I'll stop saying enough about that, but just say GDC was amazing.
So that's
because everyone got together, and I'm telling you, GDC might be the new E3. Well, for the business side of things, the business side, not the fan side, the business side.
It would
because
be
we're all gathered
interesting.
together again.
It would be interesting to see if they allowed more media into GDC. So, and Scepter, unfortunately, yes. And again, I say that I do think it's unnecessary in the modern age. I say that from the fans' perspective.
Guys, I'm definitely not taking any digs either. It's just there's so much more that could be said, and I just feel like obviously I'm a little sour from it, but that there still needs to be some physical part of the business side. You have to have it, and if it's not at E3, there will be something else.
Got to be somewhere else. So
Gamescom Germany. Gamescom's the best event for business, by the way. And isn't that crazy? Because there's like 300,000 to 400,000 fans that go.
Because that's the fan
Gamescom
event.
is the best by far. And
yeah,
because they know how to separate the two, and it's easier though to get to that convention because of all the transportation. So that's why there's so many fans that can go.
Which is really bizarre because Microsoft and Sony have pulled out of those shows too. That's really bizarre. I don't know if Sony's going. No,
wasn't Xbox down there?
Xbox might have been. Sony hasn't been there for 3 years, and I don't know.
Sony not. Right.
And I don't know if they're going to be there.
I don't think they've announced anything for Gamescom. Yeah.
I would assume Gamescom. Now would be a great time.
Isn't it October?
It's August, and I
yeah.
think I'm not sure about Sony, but I would bet that Microsoft goes. So.
Well, it depends on what they've got to show from Rare.
Rare, yeah.
And Playground, I guess, because Playground's over there.
And Dreadpool's got a good point too. Multicultural, sure. But,
yeah, absolutely.
And it's amazing to have that.
Well, plus they have an Asian show as well that they do in October. That's I think what. No, it's just called Gamescom Asia, and I think that's the one, Peter, you're thinking of in October. So, but yeah, I Scepter, from the company standpoint, and it is weird. It does go back a little bit to my, like, on our end. I've noticed this on our end as journalists and former journalists. I'm not a journalist anymore. I'm not. I'm a content creator. I'm a podcaster. I am not a journalist anymore. But you are. for all intents and purposes. You're a media guy. You're a PR guy. From the PR, from the journalist standpoint, we always feel like that is the time to have our relationships. The problem is that from the company standpoint, it's the companies that don't need us anymore. Maybe the indie studios do, but the bigger companies don't, and the bigger companies control these kind of shows. And so
that's part of the problem.
That's part of the problem. No,
Because
it totally
we're
is.
also excited about these big companies swallowing up all these other studios, and that's okay to an extent. But there's some people that want to be kept separate, and they can get frowned upon sometimes too, right? Because they're trying to do their own thing. Well, God bless them for doing their own thing, man. And that's why we want to be able to support these people. And I say people because they're people. They're trying to make a living, and sometimes, like I said, it just helps when they can get that out there to events. And there are other events, like you guys are saying, there are. But I'm just saying, going forward, when you see more digital and less physical, you'd be surprised. Think about this too. Because of COVID, we talk about the games. It's not as productive working remotely as opposed to working. Now, I like working remotely, but I'm talking about developing a game. It's far more productive when you're in person in a studio.
Right.
So if you really want everything to go digital, you're not going to see games come out as much as you guys would like. I mean, how many actual current gen games have we really seen? Very few. Very few. That's from working remotely most of all. And I'm all for remote work. I'm just saying, you get what you what does the saying go? You get what you ask for, and get what you wish for, whatever.
Yeah, you get what you careful what you wish for, you might get it.
Yeah.
And so to that point, here's a tweet from ID at Xbox. All right. Join us tomorrow for the all-new ID at Xbox showcase with new trailers, interviews, and all the indie game love we can fit into an hour. 151,000 views. Just on this tweet. Which means that if it's half of them watch this thing tomorrow. I mean, that's an instant close. Well, if let's say 3/4. I mean, they're gonna get 100,000 people watching this thing tomorrow, which is great, right? For one single event.
It absolutely is great.
And that's
think about it, even Jeff Keighley, right? Game Awards. Every year they're smashing record-breaking numbers, right? Smashing goals.
Yep.
So that is good. Like I like that. Like I wish my kids could watch even a quarter of the Game Awards these days, but they can't. It's not really for kids.
No, it's not.
It's a whole other story. Forgive me.
No. Especially when Yosef comes out to pimp his next game. What I'm getting at is, from my original point, you and I love the connections with people. Mm-hmm. What the companies love is the views and the clicks and the money. And this is how they get it. This set probably cost them $10,000. And
true, but
we're
talking like the indies. Forgive me, Mike. I'm sorry. Don't mean to cut you off.
No. But even to talk about the indies, this set costs them nothing. It is their set they can use in their home showcase, in their home studio, which means it's sunk cost, and this costs them nothing to put this out for. They'll get more than 150,000 people at the end of the day to watch this, right? So Sony puts out a God of War trailer, gets 1 million views. I mean, that's it's what we want, and it's kind of funny because Scepter. Is it Scepter? Yeah, Scepter says everyone's going to do what's best for their people. It doesn't always line up with my agenda, but he makes a great point for how this whole thing has gone. And it doesn't line up with what you and I want, Rick, but the company is going to do what the company does to make money. That's their goal.
Yeah, but you're talking about choice being taken away. when these indie studios don't have that choice. If E3 gets shut down, it gets shut down. We can take a step back and say that's not going to hurt them, but it does. I mean, I talk to these guys, right? Like I talk to a lot of different, studios, big or small. So yeah, Nintendo Treehouse. Well, yes, Nintendo. Nintendo's going to be Nintendo.
Right.
We're more so talking about these smaller companies that lose out on these opportunities.
So why have they pulled away from PAX? Because PAX used to be that show for indies. That was the indie show.
That's a great question. What's really interesting is I plan on going to PAX East this year. And again, this is stuff that nobody else knows. So I hope the people even watching can get a little insight that you got to really try and think about it from these guys' standpoints. But when you hear the word on the street is that most are going to GDC, I switched and I went to GDC. And there was actually more that benefited me on that end from a business standpoint. And, I wasn't, definitely the only one. Yeah, I hope PAX West is better too, because I want to go. Dude, I'd go to all of them if I was single, man. I'd be like, just send me on a plane, guys. Just pay me and I'm gone, But yeah, GDC was crazy because I would always prefer PAX. But there was some really sweet stuff that was shown at GDC. And things change. I mean, a lot of it is sometimes everyone's like, we don't even know what's going on. And this is an industry like E3 all of a sudden is like, I'm talking to people at PAX GDC, and we still don't know what's going on. So communication is a crazy thing in the industry, and things get lost in space. They do when it's just you're not meeting in person. Communication just goes, I don't know, it's hard sometimes to explain it all unless you had other people actually talking for their own perspective. And I don't mean to beat a dead horse or, going over the same point. Dead war horse? Yeah, worse. But I think, I think PAX hopefully will end up being okay.
PAX is still very, that's very well attended.
Yeah. I mean, and that'll always be there. Yeah. I think as long as there's not any lockdowns or shutdowns or anything like that, I think that there'll always be some part of physical gathering events. And by the way, Yosef, right? What if he just showed the trailer but never showed up to that event? There's no way he would have sold as many copies for A Way Out, right? No way.
No, I agree.
John, go home. You know what? Go home. I love it. I bet you he likes busted balls too. I'd love to talk to him in person. But that's great. I disagree. Working online is fine for me. Oh, fair enough. You know what? Everyone in the industry doesn't agree with what I'm saying either. You know what I mean? So I'm not like the playbook here. That's for sure.
No, but I do like your perspective. So talk to us about GDC. I've never been to GDC. What's it like there? Because I feel like GDC has kind of moved in a interestingly different. I mean, I remember GDC being strictly. I mean, it's the game developers conference. All the game developers simply went to go talk to each other, like a partner expo. So
yes.
Sorry, Myke. Well, no. So what? All of a sudden, it feels like anybody can go. Of course, it's expensive, but.
So here's what's funny. Again, GDC, what happens is you get a lot of developers going there to pitch their game to publishers, right? That's a big part of GDC. Right. It's more about that side of things. That's, my very first way into like doing something for Warhorse Studios, besides that party I ran for them at E3, that was very much just helping them out and getting to meet them, was at GDC. And there was even fans that, like just people that went. But that was, sorry, my camera's doing funny things because it's really dark, I think. But the point being now is GDC, they're actually I was getting like, they're going to be showing off more of their game at GDC. What date is it? Oh, I got to wait because there's still some embargoes, but there's some companies that were showing their game off like it was E3. That's why I was saying it was almost like the new E3. So GDC has like shifted gears, and I think they did that. Some of the companies, because they knew or they were not certain about E3. So like, you know what? We have press coming out now. We have influencers going to GDC. Let's show them some stuff right now because we are not sure about what's going to happen later on. That just goes to show you still how important it is for these type of things. So GDC was great. I'm telling you, when I started talking to everyone who was there, the people I ran into, it was so refreshing. I saw Rubes there, and when I was there, I met the marketing, one of the marketing managers for Lies of P. We're going to have a very big, presence there for Lies of P. We can't wait. If you guys don't know anything about Lies of P, you're talking like Bloodborne, Souls-like, incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And
I believe that's coming to Game Pass.
Yeah, it is. And by the way, like trying to get a hold of Neowitz, it's not easy. So now I met this guy at the event, and man, Rubes is great. He set that all up, and so I was able to check out different games, and I hung out with Nintendo for a little bit, checked out some of their games, and it was very special. GDC, they nailed it, and I think every year now, especially on the business side, even for like press, when I normally would go to PAX, we're going to GDC most likely. It's a little too soon, but it's probably going to happen.
Okay.
I hope that answers that.
No, that does. I mean, it. Were there a lot of people there other than? I mean, were there? Trying to think how to.
There weren't like you know what? Let me step back a bit. If I didn't make it clear, it's definitely more business. Like you're not having fans go to.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That was my mistake there.
No,
fact,
what I'm.
Yeah.
No. What I and the question that I was trying to get at was GDC becoming more like what E3 used to be? Is really what I was getting at.
Yeah, but here's the crazy part. Everyone was in hotels. I didn't even need a badge. So we just started meeting. Everyone was presenting the game in hotels. And I think it's because the show floor was very busy. Boy, now that I'm really thinking about, like, wait a minute, did some fans go to GDC? Like, you think I should know? Yeah, there definitely was.
Oh, I'm sure, because you could buy a pass for $366.
Yeah, because you know what, I focus so much on the business, I don't even think about that because I have to plan everything ahead of time. But yeah, it felt like an E3 because, again, I was going to see games that I can't even mention right now that were there. It was just awesome. You would just. It's been a while since that's happened. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it felt like a miniature E3. Yeah.
And that's what maybe that's what it becomes, right? By the way, Bigblock. So I want to. Microsoft is not moving to be console agnostic. They're moving to be an ecosystem platform, but they're going to continue to base it around the Xbox and the PC, because the Xbox and the PC are the same platform. Let's call it what it is. And trying to bring mobile in, but he says they would need independence less and less. If no consoles to move, they would care more and more about first party titles. Here's why I don't think, and why they're putting on a show tomorrow specifically for indies. It's about their ecosystem. So even if they were concentrating more on the ecosystem than Xbox itself, they still need to sell Game Pass subscriptions. They still need people in Xbox Live. They still need people in Xbox Live Ultimate to get Game Pass and to get cloud streaming. And the best way to do that is not just to have first-party titles. They need those small indie titles. They need Vampire Survivor and Wolong and games like that to be in Game Pass to really push it. I'm not saying that first party doesn't, because that's the differentiator between them and PlayStation Plus. But if it was just first party titles, I don't think they'd have nearly the subscriptions that they have now. Peter, chime in on that if you think I'm off base on that.
No, I think you're right.
And there you have it. Peter has spoken.
And you know what, Myke? I'm going to text you something right now.
Okay.
I can't even wait. I'm just going to... It's like...
I'm assuming you texting it to me.
After,
okay.
There's,
I was going to say, I'm assuming you texting it to me means I can't say it.
Yep. No, I gotta, man, I hope I don't get too many eyeballs on, some things that it's like, Rick, shut up.
Oh no, not here. Not here.
Yeah.
No, I get that. And again, I see everybody's side. And it's why it doesn't bring me much joy to know that E3. So if GDC becomes that show, that type of expo, I think that's a good thing, because I think that I also think that the fans everybody gets what they want, right? So the fans get what they want by the showcases. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
That's what they get. The media, who is still needing to be relevant, gets the one-on-ones, gets the behind the scenes. Like, I will say that one of the things that E3 was really useful for was all the behind the scenes stuff. I have a lot of memories of being shuffled into one of those rooms, right, where they go, okay, you can't say anything about what we're about to show you, with some exception. I still have I love to throw this video up now and again. One of my favorite memories from E3 was 2004, when we were the show was, I don't know, 15 minutes from being over. We were walking, myself and I had a writer. He did our PC writing. His name was Dan Comer, and we were wrapping up. And I was walking back through the Microsoft booth one more time, just to say goodbye to a couple people. And my rep at the time, my rep prior, I think it was prior to Arnie. Arnie Meyer was my Xbox rep, like in the 360 era. Now he's the director of PR for Naughty Dog. And I think this was right before he took that job. Our rep saw us and ran over to us and said, "Myke, you guys want to come see something real quick?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." All right. Well, I mean, the show's going to be over in a few minutes. It won't take long, promise. But I forgot, you haven't seen this yet. So they take us into this room, and there is a bunch of Xbox consoles, and we sit down and we get this presentation by Frankie O'Connor, who's doing this demo, and I forgot who he had actually controlling the demo, but Frankie's telling us about the Halo 2 multiplayer and all the new things. Here, I'll turn this up just a little.
But that's good for one thing. It prevents this from happening. Boarding. Get close to a stationary or slow-moving vehicle.
He's explaining to us about all the cool new things in Halo 2 that Halo 2 was going to do that Halo 1 couldn't. And so we're sitting there watching this, and I'm like, "Do you mind if I..." He's like, "Nah, go ahead and record it." So, well, shit. All right. So I started, took this video. And and then we got to play a multiplayer session before they kicked us out of the South Hall. So these are the things that I remember, right? Not everybody got to do this. Not everybody got to see this. This was not out on the show floor, right? I have such fond memories of these kind of things. Like sitting in, you talked about Team Ninja, hanging out with with Tecmo, kind of before Kawhi. Kawhi was still separate at the time. And interviewing and talking to Tomonobu Itagaki, right? I mean, those are the memories. Paul, Peter said,
Paul, I mean, you're taking over the show, Paul. Come on. We haven't said anything in a while here.
Yeah, it's been all Peter.
Or did I say Paul? I meant Peter.
Yes. Well, Paul is busting our chops.
That's why I said it, yeah. Peter's got wisdom, though. When he comes in, it's like, pay attention,
Exactly.
For me, it's like, here goes Rick again. Mute.
See, I charge $100 a word, and yours are just pennies. Like,
you got like that word count. I don't know if you guys saw Parks and Rec, and they're showing an idea, like an invention. It's like a word count device. This woman showed, dude. We just saw that today. My wife and I, we took a little break from everything and watched a show of Parks and Rec.
I'm just like what's the guy from John Wick? The actor.
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. Yeah. I mean, he only spoke like 348 or 358 words in the whole movie. So per word, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
And you know what, too, guys? So think about it, Myke. I mean, that's Halo 2. Halo 1 was a super big deal. Halo 2 was even bigger deal, right? Am I wrong, or am I wrong? I mean, Halo 2
you were
was
right.
One of the
You
best.
were right.
And they still, I mean, here's the thing. Whether they admit it or not, and I can say because I remember I worked for, as you guys know, I worked for Warhorse for 3 years. When we get the press in the room, the reason why we're showing the presentation is because we're selling them the idea that this is a really good game. And here's why. So we're sales. PR is sales. Even developers, everyone does sales. Anybody who knows, if you're going to make money in business, you have to know how to sell. That might not be your specialty. But even when a developer talks about their game, if they want to do it right, don't be boring. If you really believe in your product, you should be passionate about it. If you can't be passionate about what you're doing, you're in the wrong business. You know what I mean? You don't have to be like me and waving your hands all over. You don't have to talk like this Italian guy, But we want the press. We were trying to sell them on the idea of why they want to cover the game. And when you're getting 10 to 20 per session, sometimes like at Gamescom, we would get 10 to 20 people. There's no way you can mimic that digitally. You're getting 10 to 20 people. And some of them were huge influencers and some of them were small. But at the end of the day, you lose track. You're just so happy people are coming to see your game. That was awesome. And you had a great experience, obviously. You must have been blown away by every second.
Yes. Didn't get to play games. Didn't get to play a single freaking game sometimes.
It was Peter's turn.
So. Well, now we're just going to be quiet.
I haven't been on here in a while, so I had to get a lot of it out,
I know. You had a lot of pent up.
See, you guys, this is like therapy, I guess, for me. You know what I mean?
It's very passionate.
Yes,
very
that's
passionate
what it is.
about it.
You know why? Because
then I sit back and listen.
I'm grateful. I'm I'm a kid at heart, and like these guys here that are on listening to us, I'm always going to be a fan before a developer, publisher, PR. I'm not publisher, but I'll always be a fan first. That is numero uno. The moment you're not a fan, then you all of a sudden politics creep into gaming, and not saying you can't be a fan and be into politics, but let's be real, it's not good for the industry. What's good for the industry is the games, not the politics. The games and the fans that buy the games.
Yes.
So I will always be grateful, and you know what I do at the end of every show? I think I might. I don't know if I shared this with you guys when I was on that. We had the call last time, but before the last day of the show, I walk around the show floor, and I'm so grateful. I'm thanking God that I have the opportunity to be here. And sometimes I'm like, God, what am I doing here? I don't even feel like I deserve to be in this environment, because it's such a privilege to go to these events and then meet the developers and publishers that put their heart into this. And there's something so special about that. So that's why I'll always be a gamer first, though, at the same time, because that's how it started. And we can never let that go. So it's great when everyone's passionate on all sides, because you want, as long as it's focused on the games. Right? If it's anything else but games, then we start to go the wrong way. That's what it's all about.
Over to you, Peter.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah.
Next topic. Two hacker topics. There we go.
Oh,
So you're finally to the first
There we
topic
go.
now.
No. I mean, no, you're absolutely right. Speaking of games, what have you been playing, Rick?
there's this. With my kids, we try to play co-op games. I play that. I just finished The Witcher. Let me say that. I finished The Witcher 3. I put that on the back burner for years. You know
Not
what's
a co-op
crazy is?
game.
I seriously, I have games that I can't wait to play so much that I save them. Because I know that sounds like a paradox, but I just can't wait, so I just know I always have that to look forward to. So, Rick, about accessibility in video games. Okay, let's stay on topic. So, I beat The Witcher 3, one of the best games I've ever played. And then I've been playing the Sailor game, the Trash Sailor game. You ever hear of that one? The co-op one?
Mm-mm.
No.
It's a co-op game, and I play with my kids, and you're on this little ship, like pirate ship. You're pirates, really, and you're fishing to get whatever loot. Like there's like I'm trying to explain this. You're sailing, and you have like different characters, little classes, we'll say, and one guy's good for fighting, another one's good for fishing because you need to fish for stuff. Like literally, there's TVs in the ocean, and you're fishing for a TV, and like you have to then someone's got to steer the ship. And you have someone else that maybe is an all-around, like someone's got to control the light on the top of the ship because if it gets too dark, there's like bats that'll come down and creatures that you need to scare away with the light. And the idea is to collect maps that you find that you have to fish for in the ocean, and then you get more, we'll just say, dollars income when it says, okay, now you need to find 2 TVs and 1 telescope, and you're fishing. There it is, Trash Sailors. It is a lot of fun. So I'm playing that, and the as far as single player goes, yeah, it's hilarious. The next game that I want to play is The Evil Within 2, and I've had that on the back burner for years because I'm so excited to play it. Survival horror is one of my favorite genres out there. I'm very picky though. I like old school Resident Evil. I do not like the new Resident Evil games at all. I am one of those old timers that I don't like when they change it. From the camera angle, I think that's like imperative for me. So I am going to probably give a chance at that. I just don't know how I'm going to do it because some of my kids are staying up later and I don't want them seeing it. But yeah, I like I said, I just finished Witcher 3. That game I'm playing right now with the kids. Awesome game, guys. Seriously. And by the way, we would have a blast. I would play that one with you guys too.
Tell me about Evil. So I take it you played the first Evil Within.
Yes.
All right, sell me on it because after playing Hi-Fi Rush, I am a Instant Tango GameWorks fan, and now I kind of want to take a crack at it.
Okay, so the creative director behind the first 3 Resident Evil games is the creative director behind The Evil Within, right? So if you really like the first few Resident Evil games, then you're going to be absolutely like in gamer's paradise. The Evil Within has a unique story. The music's great. It's very intense right from the get-go, and it is very challenging, and you have to conserve your ammo. If you do not like survival horror, you're not going to like The Evil Within. But if you do like survival horror, and especially if you like old school Resident Evils, you're already missing out. You're absolutely missing out. The boss battles are even good in it. They're actually better than the Evil Within boss battles are definitely better in my opinion. Sometimes the last bosses always tend to be disappointing in those games, but the bosses battles I think are better too than even the old school Resident Evils. So, you like Resident Evil, you got to play The Evil Within.
Okay.
And if you don't like that, then don't play it. Play something else.
Alrighty.
Just looking it up to see if I played that one. I wonder if that's the one. Is that the one that you can play co-op?
No.
Okay, I must be confused with a different game.
Yeah, to me, the moment you have co-op, there's no such thing as survival horror. I'm very when I played Resident Evil 5 with my brother, it was fun. But I'm like, yeah, well, hey, Scepter, man, I'm straightforward. I'm a straight shooter, you know? So I have no problem talking people out of something. Like, I'm not even necessarily trying to sell you on the game. I'm just trying to tell you that if you like Resident Evil, then the old school, then you'll love it. If not, don't play it. But like Resident Evil 5, you guys remember that? It was co-op? Like Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, Resident Evil 5. Yeah, that's co-op. I've played it in co-op.
Resident Evil 4 was a little bit of a stretch, but it still kept true to the series. In fact, I liked Resident Evil 4 even better than the first three. And there's some people that are more pickier than me that didn't like Resident Evil 4. Now, obviously, Resident Evil 4 Remake came out, and everyone's like, oh my goodness, and it's selling millions of copies. You know why? Because they're better than the newer ones, in my opinion. Why am I so passionate, Peter, about everything I talk about?
Because you are. You love, you know?
Sometimes I got to take a chill pill, though. Thank God for my wife. She keeps me grounded. But, yeah, with that said, Resident Evil 5, 6, and started going south. And Resident Evil 7, they kind of got back more to survival horror, went to first person. Then there was Resident Evil 8, Resident Evil Village. Resident Evil Village, did you know that they added content to where you can play third person?
No.
Interesting.
Yep.
I did not.
John, you get beautiful energy too. Who you kidding, John? I love it. You know, Mike, the reason why you have a great community is because you guys are great people. You know, the thing is, you can't control sometimes the people that come into your chat, right? But energy is contagious.
Absolutely.
One thing about energy is that can spread abroad regardless of whether you're in person or not. So there you go. There's some ammunition for you jabronis out there. So, State of Decay, I'm not a fan. My opinion, only because State of Decay, I don't know why. I think it's because I wasn't as much of a fan, at least because I tried the second one. Like, I really tried to get into it. Maybe of the RPG elements in it. For some reason, I love RPG elements, but for some reason it was just a turn off to me. I didn't like having them. I felt like I was spending too much time making pit stops and going through all my gear and all this and that. And that's just me though.
Any game that has inventory management, I hate it. Like, if I can carry 7 swords but not the 8th, then why can't I carry 7? That's just stupid. You know? Make it either 1 or unlimited, but not each time, you know, those games. Overburdened. It's like, all you do is like inventory management. The Division, same thing. It's like, I have to keep a whole spreadsheet out with my armors and other stuff, what I have, what I don't have, and you can takes the joy out of it.
The Division for that, but that's just me. I just didn't like it. Whoa, is that Nate?
That's Nate.
Yeah.
Is that Naughty Red Girl?
Naughty Red Girls, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I remember when he sent me a friend request and I thought it was spam, so I just ignored it on Xbox.
That's that's
Naughty Red Girls, and that's like, okay. And then the more I got to know Nate, I'm like, yeah, that suits him perfectly. No.
Oh man. Oh, so I got a buddy who's listening right now. Mr. Panda Sub. He said, "Good Lord, Mike, I'm listening to you folks, and none of y'all know anything about Resident Evil or Evil Within. Shame, shame."
Who said that?
A friend of mine who's texting me, who's listening to the show, but won't show up in chat to plead his own case.
No, what did he say? We don't know. What did he say?
He said you don't know anything about Evil Within or Resident Evil.
Oh, me?
Yeah, I guess y'all.
Oh, huh?
So.
Pretty much all Resident Evils except the remakes and stuff. It's like, can't keep up.
Well, and again, I think the remakes do so well because people miss that, and you don't have Silent Hill.
There he is.
Right here. Give it to me, Panda. Maybe
all right, now he's there. Now we can block him right away.
But I can tell you this much: like, even if I apparently don't know anything about it, I love them. So, the old school.
Yeah, the old stuff is my so we were I can't remember. We were on so Panda and I and Geeks with Cash are on a we've been on a few shows. I'm on a show with Geeks with Cash on Monday, every other Monday night called Retro Roots. Oh, he said he knows things about Resident Evil. I don't.
And Myke, you're older than me. What's wrong with you?
Because I only did the old school Resident Evil. I did Resident Evil when it was still Alone in the Dark. So.
Hey, there you go. So you know.
I know. I haven't played The Evil Within. That's why I don't know anything about it, because I don't know.
Yeah, Panda, give it to him. Give it to him.
It's in Game Pass, so no excuse.
It is in Game Pass. But see, then I gotta finish Wolong first.
It's too long. I think I'm gonna delete that game. It's like I don't have the patience anymore to beat that first boss.
You know what's hard with Wolong is that it's still, even though it's Chinese, the combat, it's more fast paced, and whereas Neo is more Japanese combat and also lore focused. It's just hard because when you're playing Wolong, you still feel like it's a Neo game in a way, and it's just like it wasn't original enough, I think, to maybe do what they wanted it to do, which is too bad because we liked it at Extra Life.
I'm gonna play it, Panda. I'm gonna play it. It's on my list. I want to play it, and as Peter just said, it's in
Game Pass.
Man, I gotta say, I miss this. First off, I love that we're all older. No offense to you youngins out there, but I do like that because we all have grown up more in that generation of some of the game. We understand what the Atari was, and going way back when and how games have evolved. But I actually have to get on a call with Extra Life, being that they're in Asia. It's their morning, so they're ready to go when I'm ready to go to bed.
But we were talking about this on this Retro Roots show, which Geekstorian has on his channel, and we were talking about what gameplay elements would we like to see brought forward. And I think one of the things I talked about with those older Resident Evil games is I like the static camera, right? The fixed camera. I was also not a fan of turning everything over the shoulder third person. And I think that takes away one of the things I liked about Alone in the Dark and the original set of Resident Evils was that with that set camera, you didn't know what was coming around the corner sometimes. You didn't know what was walking towards you. Because sometimes you'd walk forward, right? You'd walk through the room forward. There'd be a monster here or a zombie here. You wouldn't see him come into the frame until it's almost too late. And then you got to figure out what to do. Do I shoot him? Do I take a hit? And you just don't have that when you go third person over the shoulder.
You did with Dead Space. That was very surprising. Where the hell are these enemies coming from? Got him! I got him! It's over. It's over. You tell him, Panda. You give it to him. I'm sorry. No, you're right, Myke. I'm just being a pain. But I think Dead Space did a really good job with the vents and where you didn't know where the enemies were going to come from. So they kind of reinvented that wheel that you could still do it well. Yeah.
But quite often, like in third person, like you kind of can look around the corner, so without being actually around the corner. I mean, around the corner.
That's true, and that's a good point.
So it's a little kind of cheating a little bit.
No, you're right, Myke. I understand what you're saying.
No, but it's funny because there was a game, and I have to see if it's on our channel. There was a game that came out. I might not have streamed it. That was like that in that Xbox One, PlayStation 4 era, called White Knight, and it had that feel to it, where it was set camera. You had to make your way around things. I don't think I had streamed it. I might have streamed it on Twitch, in my old Twitch days.
Oof, I'm almost sweating.
Yeah, you're getting all worked up.
Oh man, I love it. I miss it.
We
so
miss
here's the thing.
this too.
I myself have to get rolling, but I still want to talk to you both if I can after my Factual Life call. It won't take long. So
Yeah.
like you guys end at 11:30.
We're gonna try.
Listen, can you text me or call me after?
Yeah, we'll hang out in Skype. We'll bring it back in Skype.
Okay, and listen, for the rest of you guys, thank you. I don't know, several of you guys. I've seen Panda, actually. I know that he's chatted on here before when I've been on. I think when I worked for Warhorse. And Cerebral Paul, I feel like sounds a little familiar to me. Boogeyman, yes. No, you're great, Scepter. You're great. Anyway, I apologize because I got to make that call with them, but I want to talk to you guys after.
Yeah, we'll catch up with you.
Let's do this again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anytime. You're welcome anytime, Rick.
Yeah, you know that, Rick.
Yeah.
I'm glad you reached out.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys, and Nate, we got to catch up too. Dude, John, much love. All right, guys.
All right, talk to you in a bit.
Thanks.
Rick out.
Rick out. We'll just leave him right that.
Yeah, just leave him like that.
Yes. So,
I have another. Are we ready for next topic?
yeah, let's do it.
The Sir X-Man brought it up. I don't know if you've seen it, Myke. About
Yes.
Western Digital now came out with the extended storage for the series consoles, which
Yes.
is great. I mean, no longer just Seagate. However, I'm still a little disappointed about the price.
M2.
Even though it's 180. I mean, I bought my Seagate 1 terabyte for 179.92, like 2+
They
years
took it
ago.
down. They took it down. The Best Buy. They took down the listing. So I was gonna try to grab the Best Buy listing. Let me see if I can find a picture of it.
So, I mean, competition is good, but if they're both satisfied with like, oh yeah, let's charge them 180 and still both make a big buck, then it's still disappointing for a consumer standpoint.
Well, and I don't understand why it costs that much.
It shouldn't cost that. It shouldn't cost that much.
No, it shouldn't. It
But
should be...
one thing is, like, if they sell them for 180 now, and maybe they can drop them for $40, it's still, when they're on sale, it's still a big chunk of change.
It is. I'm trying to pull up.
I mean, 180, you would think you would get a 2 terabyte by now.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at the price of a good... Here we go. Here's a Yahoo News article on it. I'll bring up. If you look at a good 1 terabyte SSD, it'll cost you what, $70?
Well, even if you look at the NVMe cards, 1 terabyte. I mean, yeah, they're like under $100.
Yeah, I mean, this is one place. This is one place where I think.
I like the way it looks, though.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's very small, very nice, and it's portable. So there's.
I mean, it's hot swappable, right? I mean,
it is hot swappable and it is portable, so you can.
And it's portable, so that's
take your games to
it's fantastic. And I don't mind to pay a little bit more than your $80, but this thing should not cost more than $100.
No, it shouldn't. Not for 1 terabyte.
And in a half terabyte, you should just cancel it. Don't make those. That's ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, it's been removed from Best Buy. This is one place where I think Sony made the better choice, because while it's not portable like this, which is nice, you could put whatever SSD you want in the PS5. And this is...
Plus you have a choice of 100 different manufacturers.
which
Even
would be
per
nice.
manufacturer, you have the choice of a gazillion different models and speeds and.
Yes. So, you know, you have to, the only thing, I guess the only thing you could do if you really wanted to go to cheap option is what Sir X says open the door. We're only going to be on for 10 minutes, X. I'm determined to get us the hell out of here. Oh, open the door. I see what she's saying. So, he means it's opening the door for other manufacturers.
I mean, if that's the case, then, you know, keep our fingers crossed. But
well, at some point, and here's where the closed architecture of Microsoft does work against consumers. And I know everybody's been talking about consumerism in Microsoft, especially with the Activision deal. But with the PS5, because it has an M.2 slot, I could go on Amazon and buy even the cheapest, you know, Chinese knockoff hard drive. Oh, he's trying to come in. X is trying to infiltrate our call. He's trying to infiltrate our call.
He's blocked. No.
That's right. Hang on. I could add him for a couple minutes. I'll add him for a couple minutes.
12 minutes.
12 minutes. We're not staying that long, X. Hang on.
Here's the thing. The Microsoft solution, you know, it's like even a caveman can do it.
Well, that's the thing.
And that's the thing. And it's hot, you know, it's hot swappable. It's like, you know, it's portable. But it comes with a price. And the price is high.
The price is high. Hang on a second.
Oh, I'm here.
He's infiltrated.
He's infiltrating.
He's infiltrated.
Yeah.
There he is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not Rick Lagnese. Just to let you know. What's up, X?
Will the real
Look
Rick
at you.
Lagnese
You are
please stand up?
smiling. Yeah.
I'm the oldest person in the room, so will the real Sir X-Man please stand up?
Yeah.
That's true.
But are you also the wisest? That has to be seen.
I'm not going there right now.
Collectively, we are.
So, Brother X, hey, you're looking good. You're looking much. I'm just gonna say it. You're looking much better than you did last week.
I'm feeling better. Well,
Good.
remember, it was days after the surgery.
It was,
so,
yes,
you know,
it was.
I'm in pain, bro.
Glad to see you, though.
I'm still feeling the pain, but it ain't like what it was, you know, a few days after the surgery.
Good. Well, glad to see you. Glad to see you about. Glad to see you smiling. So.
Yeah, everybody says I should get out the bed more right now, but they don't understand how hard it's been.
I bet. So, all right, X, we got 10 minutes because I am determined.
I don't want to be here that long. I just want to talk about this daggone
Let's
thing.
do it. Let's do it. So what I was getting ready to say,
clear your
and then I'll clear your throat.
Nah, not on this one.
Let me.
this one?
So what I was gonna finish saying, and then we'll give you the floor. X is the option you could take is you could, as this paragraph says, you could get an external SSD, and you could use it as storage, right, to offload games that you're not playing. However, you still got to copy them or move them back and forth when you want to use them. There's still the SATA 3 or the USB 3 conduit that you have to plug into. So that bandwidth isn't exactly the same as putting an internal SSD in. So it's an alternative that's cheaper, but it's not a realistic alternative. It's not the same.
I mean, sure, you can buy another console, you know.
Yes.
I looked up and got two 1 terabyte memory cards for about $70. Don't want to talk about it. I don't need nobody coming back at me. But I looked up. to my Xbox. Just put it like that. Thank you, Amazon, for making a mistake.
Yeah.
But
You didn't let us know. That's a shame.
I
Shame on
didn't
you.
know everything. I ain't going to. It was years ago. But I feel that if you're gonna be WND, oh my God, Western Digital usually has some of the lowest price memory out there, except for their Black series.
And this
Which
is
is
a
what
WD
this
Black.
Right. So,
Premium. Ka-ching.
but you're trying to tell me that you couldn't come out with one for $130?
Yeah.
And plus, I'm sorry, the Samsung one looks better. It looks so much better than
I mean,
that
Seagate?
fat, bulky one that they. Yeah, the Seagate one looks so much better than this one right here. You know, and you could have came out with it for $130.
I mean,
You
this
know.
is $130, but they charge you 180.
Right, I know.
Right.
You know,
Hey, but you said the Seagate looks better, but it's in the back of your console, so you don't really see it.
No, you don't.
yeah, but I don't know why, but it looks better. It slides better. You know, I
Paul
don't know
said
how
I ain't
this
looking
thing
at it.
slide.
Paul said,
Huh?
I ain't looking at it. Paul says, I ain't looking at it.
I ain't worried about Paul. Paul can barely see anything right now anyway, so.
All right.
But-
Put it
But
underneath his pillow, maybe.
Pillow Paul.
Always smoke when you come on.
It's like this
You and
memory
Lemon.
card.
You and Lemon. It's always smoke.
But this memory card, it's like you're charging people close to what the other one was,
Yeah.
and you're running into.
I mean, yeah, they were already on sale, the Seagate ones, for $180.
They're always on sale. You
I
can.
mean, that's
always
what
find
I
them
just
for-
said. I bought one like 2+ years ago for 180 on sale.
Yeah, sometimes you can get it
That's
for
the Newegg.
$150, and sometime on Black Friday you can find it for $140 to $30.
Well, hopefully this
Yeah.
Black Friday you can get a 2 terabyte for the price.
Oh, that $400 one! Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
Well, this one will be then. Yeah, I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense. But it's like you're coming into the market. You're not that much from the main proprietary one, which is the Seagate. And, you know, and I don't know your trustworthiness yet. The Seagate one has a track.
It's Western Digital. It's the Black
Yeah.
Series.
But why does it have to be the Black Series? You just named it the Black Series because it's your higher end one.
Yeah, well, that's
So,
exactly. That looks
Western
that's,
Digital makes cards.
that's
You
like
know,
premium.
regular PC cards that are lower series that work pretty much just as good. You
Yeah.
didn't have to make a Black Series. You could have made a lower tier.
Maybe they will.
Psh, they're not at a great start to
No,
prove
true.
that they will. They're
No.
not.
Do you
You
think
know-
the Seagate will drop their price standard 180 now as well?
They're always on sale.
I know, but I want to have the 180 on sale for 125 or something.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I don't think they'll go that low. But around, like I said, around 140, 150, that would be a good price.
Yeah,
For the
it's still too
Seagate.
much. The 2
But now the
terabytes should be $200.
But now the Seagate has a competition.
Yeah,
So maybe
But
they'll
maybe-
start doing something.
but maybe they're both happy
Right.
at 180, and they're both making money.
So Dread
One
is
of
saying that
One of them's
So-
not going to stay at 180 forever.
No,
If
so-
more companies start coming out with the memory cards for the Xbox, this is going to create bigger
you
competition.
know you
That's-
say that
Yeah, if they come out, yeah.
right. You guys say
You know, where's
that
Mad
though?
Cats?
Oh,
Yeah. I had to go
wow,
there.
for Mad
I used
Cats.
to love the competition in cards back in the day for the PlayStation. I used to
I mean-
revel in that.
Here's the problem, though. We're in a generation now, an unprecedented time, when crap keeps going up in price, not lower in price.
Right?
This could be 280 next year.
Yeah, but you see with the Meta Quest 2, they dropped back in price.
Yes.
So
After,
They went back to
after
their
jacking them
normal
up.
price now?
Yes.
almost.
Oh,
Yeah, that's because they're trying to say Sony, this is how you sell stuff. You make it
See-
affordable.
Yeah.
see, Nick and
That's what that's
Dread.
all about.
Nick and Dread are on the right path here. Nick said the ones they plug into the Series X are proprietary and expensive. Now, since they seem to use the external 2.5 versions, those are cheaper. But Dread said the problem is it's not a standard NVMe. It's a version for cameras that are at today's market that go for $400 for a 2 terabyte. So,
But why do you need a version for cameras that's only gonna store game memory?
well, no,
Because all your
apparently
game
you
saves
can.
are in the cloud.
Right, but apparently you can. So the difference is between this and having an external drive, like an external hard drive connected to USB, is that you can play games off of this.
Yeah.
Oh, Dread wants to come in for fun. All right,
Just
Bad
replace
Dread.
Chris.
Bad
All right.
Dread.
all right. Look, here's the deal. It's 11:27.
3 minutes.
If I do this,
It's a 3-minute dread.
You heard that one before.
yeah. Man, Dread, I want to bring Dread in, but I really do want to just stop. Don't encourage it.
Yeah, you're
Let
thinking
him-
I gotta go work out in the morning. I gotta start the griddle to make breakfast.
No. Another night. All right. But besides, Dread, you got to tell me when you're. Remember, you got to tell me when. Oh. Wow. Dread.
See, I know I'm just.
You got
here
to take
for a
that,
minute
Dread.
because I know when you wrap up.
You can finish in 2.
Wow.
Does it
Dread,
mean that he has
you-
second sloppy seconds?
You
or what?
forgot to tell me, Dread, that you were off work today. Or I'd have brought you on much earlier.
Knowledge is power.
Ooh.
Knowledge is power.
The mod came in.
He does have a wrench there, Dread. Or Paul.
What's Paul saying now?
You can't
Oh, he's
see.
at work. All right. We're gonna I definitely want to get Dread in here to give his take on this. So when this actually gets officially announced, because right now this is still just leaked. When this
Was
is
it?
officially announced,
I thought there was more official stuff, no?
No, you
Maybe
see
I'm
why?
mistaken.
No, it was so. So Best Buy pulled the listing.
So they made probably a non-proprietary thing, and Microsoft probably didn't even know about it.
No, they did because it has to be licensed.
No, it's proprietary.
So somebody leaked it early.
Yeah, see,
I think they already
mean-
had it in the Best Buy stores. Just
they did,
Oh.
and Best Buy removed it. So
Well, yeah, from the side, but also like
Seagate probably got upset.
yeah. Why
Probably
is
very
Nate?
soon.
No. What is? No, Nate. No. It's 11:30. We're gonna wrap this up. Oh my God. So when this thing does get officially announced, I
just want
wanna-
the pricing to be better.
yes.
You know, because you can't have it close to the one that originally goes with it. I mean, that's just too close.
No.
And the one that goes with it, the original Seagate one, it has Xbox labeling on the box when you buy it. This thing probably won't have Xbox labeling.
it will.
Not
sure,
in the green
pretty
and
sure
white.
it will.
Not in
Because
the
everything
green
has
and
to be licensed. Because this
Well, it can say Xbox on it.
it will have.
But
No, it's got to have
can't-
Microsoft's. It's got to have Microsoft's seal of approval, though.
Right. It can say for Xbox on it and Xbox approved, but it doesn't have to have the full, like the full box does for the Seagate one. The Seagate one is all Xbox all over the damn box.
Sorry, Nate, I missed the call.
Yeah. He was just messing with us.
Yeah.
All right. So, my last question to you guys is 1 terabyte enough? Let me.
Never is. It never is.
I mean,
It's never enough.
it's never enough.
2
I
terabyte
mean,
will not be enough.
right.
But
You know, most of your older games, you can save it to, one of your old
Yeah,
external drives.
which I do.
yeah. Yeah, what Myke did. He had the we wanted to play Forza Horizon,
Oh,
and
right.
then the DLC was on his USB drive.
I remember that. I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the heck?
Right.
Like,
Why
Mike,
would
what
it
were
do
you
that?
thinking? Mike,
Now, here's the
you
two.
can't run super high resolution when you got your DLC on the regular drive. On the external drive.
I wasn't
bargain,
trying to.
309.
Yeah, look,
They
309
dropped
for the
it
2
down by
terabyte.
100.
Yeah.
That's the 2, right? About time.
That's for
Still,
the
though,
2
still
terabyte.
steep.
That is still steep.
Well, that's
Drop it
like
another 100
well,
and
if you
I
think
might
about
be
it,
game.
That's not
But
bad. That's like
But that's-
145 for 2 of the regular 1 terabytes. So you're
Yeah.
getting, that's actually still a deal,
It's
believe it
the
or not.
second best selling product. Hold on, these are the best. It's the top 2 selling products. Of course, if you look at what else is in here, it's. So I guess,
yeah.
So what the hell?
Yeah. Hold on, what the hell is that? An SD card reader adapter with CD for Dreamcast. Hello.
Oh Lord, saw something for the Dreamcast.
All right, we got to get out of here. All right, no, not doing this. Not doing this.
I
Not doing
bet you
this.
if it's a griddle attachment, you be all up in there.
Look, what is it with you? You missed. You heard about my wife.
Yeah, I heard she took over.
Yeah, yeah. So,
You're screwed now. You ain't gonna have no griddle time.
hey, I'll share the griddle. I've used the shit out of that thing. No, we're not doing a 5-hour show back. We're leaving. Pull out
I
the
do have
credit
a
card,
question
Center says.
for you.
Yes, and then we're going.
I know. Did you ever review a PS2 game called Extermination? Resident Evil style game.
Extermination.
Yeah.
Good question.
I love that game.
I'll take a quick look while I'm looking on the Wayback Machine. I want to thank everybody for hanging out tonight. I want to thank our awesome chat, who has been very patient.
Thanks
I
to
wanna
our
thank-
wonderful mods.
Yes.
Sorry I jumped in late, everybody. I'm
In
just
the last 10 minutes.
trying to get better.
That's no, I'm glad. Extermination.
I don't know. Faster
Yeah,
than
uh-huh.
yes,
retarding.
too.
Depends on your speed.
You found it?
I did. So I did not review it. Hold on, and then we're leaving. This is the last thing you guys are seeing for the night.
It was one of those great games that came out that
So-
no one knew about, dude. It
Well,
was
let's-
a great game.
We're about to see what. So I did not write the review for this. This review was written by one of my co-founders of NLG, Chris Wilson.
Oh, okay.
This was written 2003. Oh, look, they even cached a few pictures. Cool.
Awesome.
So let's see if the review's up. The review's still there. Survival horror meets pest control.
Yeah, it was sick, dude.
All right.
What was
So
the
let's
final
see.
score?
The final score was 70 out of 100.
It was
So
actually
although
better
it-
than that.
Although extermination borrows
remember
heavily.
way back when, like 70 out of 100 was still a fantastic score.
Right, it was different
Yes.
back then.
That
Now-
was good.
Okay.
based on the IGN scale, this is trash.
Right.
Anything below
So-
8 is trash.
Right. Although Extermination borrows heavily from the Resident Evil style gameplay, it has enough original features to be a very playable and creepy experience of its own.
It's a great game, dude. A lot of people
So-
don't know about that.
So there you go. So yes, we reviewed it on the original Next Level
PS2.
Gaming. Yep, PS2. It was.
Wow, I didn't know that
published
game. What year did that game come out?
2003.
Really?
Published by Sony Entertainment.
That's why I'll never see a sequel.
Yep.
I didn't even know that. All I did was put the disc in and play the game.
Oh, I just realized the fantastic Resident Evil Code Veronica is due for release very soon. But even if you have not experienced Code Veronica on the dustier by the minute Dreamcast, you should give Extermination a try. I need to call Chris and yell at him. Yeah, I need to call him and yell at him.
Yeah,
Hey, Chris.
you need to snap on him for
Yeah.
that one.
Hey, man,
Code Veronica.
20 years ago, you reviewed Extermination, and you took a dig at the Dreamcast, you son of a... So, there you go. So, yes,
Still
we
got his
did.
number, right? Go get him.
There you go. All right. Go away, Myke.
Dino
All right,
Crisis.
guys.
Just bring us back Dino Crisis. Okay, I'm done.
All right. Thank you, chat. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Peter. Thank you for jumping in and making us go 10 minutes late, X.
Whatever.
Do not
You were
forget-
going to find a way to do that anyway. You and your griddle.
Oh, my goodness. I think on Thursday night, Peter, is I might be late getting home. It's the second night Passover Seder. So I might be up for some, I don't know if you do anything for Good Friday, but I might be up for some Good Friday rally racing. Because we got to talk about. All right. So later.
Now, at least I know you have it loaded and it's working.
Yes. Later in the weekend. I'm on my way in to the phone. over the week, we are going to play some more rally sport challenges. What I almost said, Rally Adventure on Forza Horizon 5. So look for us to do another stream on that. If you rally race, hit me up. You're damn right, Paul. Everybody knows. If you see us, our streams. I'm sorry. Our parties are always wide open. Our game is always wide open. You guys know you're not just our viewers. You're our friends. You're our family. We love to game with you guys. We love to hang with you guys. There's a lot of you that we've broken bread with. There's a lot of you we want to break bread with. So,
talking about the rally, since we're already in overtime, I grabbed that 1 minute. Did you see that video about that rally racer who steers he doesn't have any arms, so he steers with his left foot and does the pedals with his right feet.
No.
Right foot.
I've seen them do that in other racing games. I've seen that. I've seen that person.
That's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
No, I have not. Now I'm going to go look that up.
Hey, see, Paul, you need to watch that guy so you can learn something.
All right, with that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we better hang
get
out
outta
before
here.
it
Yeah.
escalates into.
Yeah, before the next person that calls into the show is Paul.
and Next Man battle. I know we always do that.
Oh, I'll send you. You want matzah? I'll send you matzah.
Yeah, just rewind,
That's-
Paul. There was a fantastic recipe that I'm gonna try.
Yes, that starts tomorrow
matzah?
night. Matzah bride.
Soak it and add 2 eggs.
Yep, soak it.
And fry it like it's hash brown / pancakes.
Yep, soak it. Break it up. Well, shake the water off. Make sure it's break it up. Put it in a bowl. 2 eggs.
Yeah.
Mix it. Put it in frying pan.
How small
telling
of a chunks? Little?
Just give
Tiny?
me some
Dime
Yeah,
size?
I would say if you can get it not quite into like a meal, like a breadcrumb type, but if you can get little pieces, about yay.
Okay.
So you don't want big long pieces. You don't want like
No, you're tiny little
pieces.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Hey. Yeah.
Like a
that's right,
Cheerio. Cheerio size?
I would say Cheerio size would work just fine.
Okay.
So, Bigblock might join us again. That's right. He was with us on our last trip, and that was fantastic. So, yes, I would love. You know what, guys? Everybody in the chat, download Rally Adventure. Download Forza Horizon 5. Forza's in Game Pass. Yes, try it first because you got to go through. Yes, but dude, we could have a whole group. Yeah, get on it, X. Get it downloaded.
I have my stuff always set to automatic download, so it's probably downloaded.
Yeah, but you got to
make sure download it to the correct spot.
No, you don't. Because I'm telling you, I thought I had it downloaded too until I went to go play it, and it said, "Oh no, you need to download this." And I'm like, "You just did a 20 gig update." "Oh no, but this is the 16 gig download." So no, go check it first. Trust me.
Well, and then you download it and then it put it on the.
And it puts it on the external drive, right? Then I can't play it. I'm like, why does it keep crashing? Oh God! All right.
That's interesting that it's crashed though, in the sense of like not checked. Like, hey, wait a minute.
It's very weird.
It's not recommended, but yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I'm still shocked it didn't play in the cloud because I launched it in the cloud. While I was just chilling out at home on my phone, and I had all the rally on everything. I guess they took it off the cloud for console.
I guess.
That's weird.
That is weird.
All right.
Don't forget tomorrow. I don't know if Spooky is quite back yet, but at least tomorrow, Go Game Go is on at 8 o'clock. Amico Forever is taking a small break. So no 9:30 show. But we have Go Game Go tomorrow. On Thursday is 4GQ TV with Clowns and Company. And DJC Game Studios does his 3DO Thursdays. On Friday is the Iconic Video Games Podcast with Axel, Princess Zelda, and Dougie Dog. On Saturday and Death Dealer. I forgot that she is a permanent member now. We have on Saturday morning we've got the Evercast with Brother Rich, Retro Rich Haywood, and his team. In the evening it is the Dragon's Den with Brother Lemon at 6. Sunday is 2 o'clock. We have with the Flamish Experience, and Sunday night is TXR. Monday is Astro Smash with DJC Game Studios, Papa Pete and Go Game Go, and then on Tuesday, Papa Pete streams Retro Renegades at 7. We'll be back 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. Getting it all out, and yes, I fixed the closing video. Have a good night. Pick up a controller. Get some gaming in. It's only 15 minutes over. I made it. It's better.
Yes, you did.
Play on, gamers.
I allow it. Game on.
Good night, everybody.